Hey there, I'm Rubble, and it's great to finally meet you. Over the next couple of minutes, I'm going to walk you through exactly who I am and how I work. Think of this as the beginning of our partnership. My goal is to show you how I can become a real essential part of how you get things done. So let's jump right in. I want to start with a feeling I bet you know all too well. You know that frantic scramble right before a big meeting? You're checking your email, you're searching Slack for that one message, pulling up a Notion doc, glancing at your calendar, maybe digging through a shared drive. It's chaotic, right? It's fragmented. And honestly, it's a huge waste of your time and energy. That exact problem is why I exist. So, what am I really? Well, the most important thing for you to know is that I'm not just another app you have to download or another chat window you have to keep open. I was designed to reduce your workload, not add to it. I'm a totally new kind of partner. To get the most out of our work together, it really helps to have the right mental model. It's easy to just think of me as a chatbot that can see your files. But that's like using a smartphone only to make phone calls. You're missing the whole point. The correct way to think about me, the way that unlocks everything I can do, is to see me as an AI operating system for your work. That mental shift is everything.
Okay, AI operating system might sound a little technical, but it's actually pretty simple. It just breaks down into three core ideas. One, I provide persistent context, which is just a fancy way of saying I remember what we're working on. Two, I run what are called skills. Think of them like apps on my OS. And three, I bring all your other tools together into one unified system. Let's dig into each of these a little more.
So let's take a closer look at those three core components. This is really the architecture, the engine, that lets me be so much more than a simple chatbot. This is what makes me a true operating system. First up is my memory, and this is a big one. Unlike most AIs you've probably used, I don't start from zero with every single request. My memory is a real, structured knowledge base. I keep the really important stuff, your priorities, your projects, ready to go at all times. And then I can pull up deeper info on specific topics whenever we need it. The bottom line, you never have to repeat yourself, and I get smarter about you and your work the more we collaborate. Second, skills. Now, if my memory is the RAM, then skills are the actual applications you run. A skill is basically a workflow for a task you do over and over. We codify your best practices so it gets done perfectly every single time. And here's where it gets really powerful. When you give me a complex task, I can spin up multiple specialist AI agents at the same time, one to research a company, one to check your CRM, another to scan emails, and get the whole thing done in minutes, not hours. And third, integrations. Because let's be honest, an operating system is pretty useless if it can't talk to your other programs, right? I act as a single gateway to all the tools you already use. This is what puts an end to that constant, exhausting context switching. Instead of you jumping between all your apps come to me. And I mean all of them. I can connect to over 70 different services that you rely on every day. You can see just a handful of them here. We're talking about the places you live and breathe in, from Gmail and Slack to HubSpot and Google Drive. I become the central hub that orchestrates work across your entire tech stack. Okay, so you get the components, but let's talk about the important part. What does this actually mean for you? Because this isn't just about saving a little time. This is about fundamentally changing the way you work. You're going to shift from being the doer of tedious tasks to being the orchestrator of important outcomes. Let's go back to that meeting prep example. A task that used to take you 30 minutes and a dozen open tabs now becomes one simple conversational request. When you say this to me, I'm not just doing a file search. I'm executing an entire skill. I'm running agents in parallel, accessing my memory of Acme Corp, checking your calendar, your CRM, your past emails, all to build a comprehensive briefing doc just for you. And the impact here is very real. We're not talking about saving a few minutes. We are talking about getting back hours of your life. On average, my users get back between 8 to 12 hours of productive time every single week. Just think about that. What could you do with a whole extra day? That's time you can now spend on strategy, on creative work, the stuff that really moves the needle. This really is the fundamental shift. The old way had you buried in the weeds, manually clicking, copying, and pasting. The new way elevates you. You provide the strategic direction. You decide the what and the why. I handle the how, orchestrating all the agents and tools behind the scenes to get you the result you're looking for. So, how do we kick off this partnership? It's easy. There's no complex setup process or some long training manual you have to read. It all starts with our first conversation, with one simple request from you. And that brings me to the last thing I want to leave you with. As we start working together, you'll find that the big question in your day is no longer, how am I going to get all of this done? My whole job is to handle the how. Your new, more powerful role is to answer a much more exciting question. What will you decide to do? I can't wait to find out with you.